All right, you guys. So it's been a couple days. I came out to check on the squashes. I don't know, 2 days or so after I put them all into the Greenstalk. And I found that I had a bunch of caterpillar frass all over. And sure enough, I had caterpillars chewing on my squash leaves. So I went ahead and gave them a fungicide, insecticide spray to kill off any of the little critters and wiped off as many of the eggs as I could. And I let it sit for, another day so that it could settle. I didn't want to shock the plants any more than they're already going through from being transplanted and then being sprayed and being chewed on. Is just so much. But I went ahead and I got this thing moved. I needed my space on the lanai. It's time to start decorating for my fall season, so I need to get the lanai cleaned up. So let me show you guys where I decided to put the Greenstalk. There it is, y'all. I just stuck it out there where I'm supposed to be putting a tree. And I know now I've got to figure out where the heck am I going to put this tree. You can see that some of my leaves are pretty chewed up. And I just watered it, so they're all kind of laying down right now. Some are not too bad, but I've got some that were just totally attacked by whatever caterpillar that was. It kind of looked like the cabbage white. However, I've never had them eating my squashes, so I'm not sure that that's what it was. But this, is it this one? No, it's not. It's the bottom tier. Let me find the one that gave it all away. Where is it? There it is over there. So this tier was actually on the top, and it was absolutely covered in caterpillar frass. Now I did find one of them, like I said, before I moved this, and it looked like the cabbage white. I've got to do a little bit of research and see if the cabbage white even eats anything in the cucurbit family. I wasn't aware that they did. It could just be a caterpillar that looks exactly the same. But that's where it's going to be. Now I'll have to come in and tie up this honeysuckle quite a bit. I'd like to get it to go up the pole, so maybe I'll just tie it to that pole up there. I do like the weeping habit, but I need it to be up further before it starts weeping, because it's going to grab onto these squashes. And these squashes, if they make it, will expand over to about here. But that's it. That's where it's going to be. Right there in my sea of mimosa, which has spread tremendously. So happy with the spread on those. And I got one left there in a pot that I need to put in the ground, which will probably go over there somewhere, just to fill that whole space out. This is not what this is about, but I gotta show y'all this. He's got one of my snakes. You enjoying your breakfast, buddy? That was delicious, wasn't it? Sorry I'm so shaky, y'all. I got mosquitoes crawling on my legs. Hey, how are you? Was that tasty? No? Yes, it was. You ate it so fast. Thanks for your help. Don't eat all the good guys. Day in the life of a gardener. I love the amount of wildlife that we've got out here. I'm going in, y'all. It's hot. Thank you. so much for hanging out with me. But it's time to call this quits. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.